Thank you so very much, Chairman Brown, and thank you both, uh, Secretary Fudge and Secretary Buttigieg, for your leadership. Congratulations on your appointment. On Monday, I had an opportunity to speak with Nuria Fernandez, the nominee for Federal Transit Administrator, about the Capital Investment Grant Program and the need to invest more in both urban and rural public transportation service for communities that need that investment. Secretary Buttigieg, I look forward to working with you on these critical transportation priorities, but today I want to talk to you about reconnecting communities, literally reconnecting them, and reversing the damage done to predominantly poor and Black communities during the construction of our interstate highway system. You and I have spent a little time together down in Atlanta and at Ebenezer Church, where I serve. Are you familiar? Do you remember the downtown connector or Interstate 75, 85 that runs through the core of Atlanta, right next to my church?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. And are you aware that its construction in the 1950s and 1960s displaced or separated historic Black neighborhoods in Atlanta? It literally split the Sweet Auburn Avenue with all of these Black businesses that were thriving, split them in two.
Yes, unfortunately, this is a pattern that a lot of federally supported highways in that period followed, and I'm aware that that had enormous impact in that community.
And the irony is that this interstate that we're talking about, 75, 85 in Atlanta, is called, ironically, the connector. And it did exactly the opposite, separating these precious neighborhoods in Atlanta. Given this unfortunate history, what responsibility do you think that we as policymakers have today when making new physical infrastructure investments?
Well, I think when you break something, you have a responsibility to put it right. And the reality is that federal transportation policy broke something, broke a community in two in an important way. And that creates a responsibility for us today to use resources to create connections where there had been divisions. We know how to do it. At least in dialogue with the community, we can arrive at ways to do it. And it's one of the reasons why the Thriving Communities Initiative that's envisioned in the President's American Jobs Plan creates real dollars to make that possible. This is clearly a responsibility of the same federal government that in some cases created these problems. But it's an opportunity not just to mend what was broken, but I think to lift up entire communities through the benefits that would come from them being better connected.
And can you speak a little bit about some ways we can redress these inequities?
Well, I think it, of course, needs to be tailored to the specific community, and I'd welcome an opportunity to speak with you more about some of the ideas that have emerged locally. Sometimes it has to do with re-envisioning where a highway or piece of infrastructure ought to go. Other times it's leaving it intact, but finding ways to connect across, above, or beneath it. And again, these are the kinds of things that in the jobs plan, which, for example, includes $5 billion to make sure that future projects help rather than harm on transportation equity and greater connectivity. These are the things we could be doing together, provided we had the resources to work with. And I welcome the opportunity both to secure those resources and to put them to good use.
Great, and you're absolutely right. I agree with you that you have a responsibility, the federal government has a responsibility to repair what it actually broke. And it's the reason I'm an original co-sponsor of the Reconnecting Communities Act. And I know you're coming to Atlanta tomorrow. So we'll get a chance to see this highway again, ironically called the connector, with me and Senator. Will you commit to working with me and my colleagues on this legislation to ensure that projects that seek to reconnect these communities in Georgia, like the more appropriately named Midtown Connector and Project Stitch in Atlanta, as well as the reimagining of the I-16 off-ramp in Savannah, my hometown, are realized?
Yes, I welcome a chance to work with you on this. And again, this is in the spirit of a major administration and departmental priority. And so I appreciate the work that's gone on and the leadership already to put together policies that would make a
I'll
difference.
talk to you a bit about the meetings.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I look forward to engaging Secretary Fudge. Wanted to talk to her about the social determinants of health, but I know it's something she's passionate about, and we'll have time to talk about it in the near future.
Thank you, Secretary Warnock, and she absolutely is. We've all had those conversations with her. Thank you.